Well, guess what? There's going to be a humdinger of a Mars moving into the sign of Leo coming up for all of us on May the 20th. Mars in Leo is not an unusual event. He moves through that sign once every 2 years. However, he will be moving into the sign of Leo on May 20th and forming a direct opposition to Pluto at 0 Aquarius, while also forming a square to Jupiter in the early degrees of Taurus. This combination is called a T-square, and it's really gritty. There is a lot that Mars can do with this energy for sure, and it can be quite explosive. I'm going to talk about how that might work for the public, general people everywhere, mundane astrology, but we'll be talking about your sign as well. In this video, I'm also covering the entirety of Mars's journey through the sign of Leo, which he will be in until July the 10th. And there are some sweet spots. It's not all about that May 20th, maybe to 23rd, OMG kind of energy. There's a gorgeous little mini grand trine going to be spitting out of the sky on June 21st while he's still in the sign of Leo. And there's some other softer touches as well. So we'll be talking about all of that. But I would say the very beginning of Mars entering into Leo on May the 20th through to his square to the nodes of fate, which occur all the way through to about the 27th, 28th of May, makes for a very intense energy at the end of the month. Add to that the Jupiter's moving toward a docking station energy with the North Node in Taurus, which will be more exact around the 30th, 31st of the month. There's a lot going on in this last week of May. Now, when we go through the all signs, I'm going to be breaking it down to the happy moment that we all wish we were going to, can't wait for June 21st when Mars is going to trine Chiron, sextile Mercury in great dignity in his home sign. There is a happy ending after a time of somewhat difficult, intense, explosive energy. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. I am using the whole sign house system. I am a Western tropical zodiac astrologer. I use minor asteroids when needed. I love them, and I'm also often address the fixed stars in the sky. If you want to know more about what I do, please check my description box below the video. That under the more button is where you can book a reading, take a class, you can join my Patreon community. Everything is underneath there. Go to my website, you know the drill, right? And if you're new, please like my channel and subscribe. If you're not new and you're one of my regulars, then of course you know the drill too. Like my channel in the premiere, as we're probably watching this together while I'm chatting with you in the live chat. Whew, let's get talking about this. I think it's easier to show you and then talk about it. So let's take a look at what I'm seeing here, and then you'll know why I'm sighing and why I'm kind of going, OMG, what the hell? So if you are looking at this chart, you'll notice there's a big red triangle in it. The red triangle is called a T-square, and it brings into our reality what is called grit. It's actually forming, when we include the South Node, a fixed grand cross. A fixed grand cross is a crucifixion, a make or break, a gritty super intensity. Yes, we know that the pearl will create that oyster from that grit of discontent. We know as well that hard times make for amazing things, right? We don't always want to have a life of ease and flow and happiness and perfection, because as Khalil Gibran says in The Prophet, it is a sorrow that carves a space for our joy, and the deeper our sorrow, the deeper or more expansive or wider or bigger is our joy. So keeping that in mind, this looks really gnarly. Like, oh my God. And what I would say is this, look, in your own life, no, the sky may not be falling, but for the world, something's going on. It's the first time Pluto has been in the sign of Aquarius. The first time he's been in the sign of Aquarius. Let me circle him, right? For 240 odd years. So we haven't felt what it's like to have Mars opposite that Pluto. No, we haven't. And that's Athena, the goddess of strategy, the god of victory and war in the ancient Roman tradition, wisdom and knowledge. Now that is an opposition. We haven't seen that energy in this way unless you were 240 years old. And if you're a vampire, that might be true, right? But otherwise, none of us have had it in this life. Yes, you can go back and look at the historical context when this has happened and make assumptions. I'm not going to do that in today's video. I'll probably do an update for all of the history of this energy. So one of the things I want to note is this: when Pluto's at the 0 degrees right now, as this occurs in the sky around the 20th, 21st of May, he's retrograding. So this is nothing new. He's going to go back, and he's moving back to Capricorn by June 11th. So he's heading back to old business. What he's been doing before he got into Aquarius is on his mind. He was anoretic at the 29th degree of Capricorn for quite a while before he slipped into Aquarius on May the 23rd, March the 23rd. till June 11th. So he may be going back to look at things to do with governments, corporations, banking. Capricorn energy was a big part of the pandemic itself because that was incited back when we had a conjunction between, brain come back online. We had a lot of stuff going on there. Saturn was there. Must have been the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. No, is that what my brain is remembering? Yeah, I think so. But nonetheless, he could be going back to all kinds of Capricornian stuff. Banks, finances, economy, corporate stuff, power structures, especially even governmental leaders, governmental powers, etc. So he's going to slip back in there, right? He's going to go back, and he's going to go back to business. But he won't get there till after June 11th. So, but he's got the old ground on his mind. So this may be less about the Aquarius story and more about the Capricorn, or at least about both of them. Because Aquarius is we the people, people power, revolution, breaking free, all of that. Pluto is in Saturn's sign. Saturn is working to swim through the zone of Pisces where he's meeting with Neptune. Not really. He's going to try to meet with Neptune, but in 2026 he finally does, but it's in Aries. But they're kind of consorting, collaborating. So he's kind of trying to bring things down to earth that are dreamy and vast, but he's not paying any attention to Pluto. Why? He's called an inversion. He's not looking at Pluto because he's not looking at Pluto, can't see Pluto. Pluto's not on his mind. Pluto has full power in Aquarius. He's got full dominion over Saturn's house without Saturn having any say in it. Is this good or bad? I don't know. It's just what it is. Mars is fires. Mars is explosions. Mars is wars and riots. Mars is homicide. Mars is things like that. And when he's opposite Pluto, it's even more like that. It's more intensity, more power, more power struggles, more conflict around power, Pluto, control, Pluto, dominating dominatrix energy, or whatever, Pluto, tyrant Pluto, dictator Pluto, opposite Mars. Well, and square Jupiter, assassination of a world leader, deposing of a dictator, death of a world leader. That's all possible. Also fires, Mars rules fires, and Mars in Leo is very, very hot. It's often associated with fire season in a lot of places. Alberta, Canada, as I'm recording this for you today, on May 9th, has a huge wildfire problem taking off this early in the season. So look for like an increase of devastating Pluto, fire, Mars energy. We could have some really historically awful wildfires in the third week of May to the end of the month of May. And with the square to Pluto, Pluto could also be said to blow up and make larger what he touches. So he's making up bigger, larger, more devastating weather conditions, perhaps, especially in Taurus, which is also about crops and about things that grow and farms. So could there be a drought because Mars rules heat? Could there be a devastating drought? The last time Uranus was in the second house in Taurus, we had the Dust Bowl era. So another story coming into this season of May into early June could be drought, not fire. Either way, it's intense and it's taking up our attention, and it could be very punctuated energy, very sudden energy, because Mars is not moving that slowly. He's going to be out of that kind of opposition to Pluto in a very, 1 week or so in terms of a direct opposition. So get ready for that. Now, I don't want to alarm you, but I mean, by the 26th of May, what we'll end up having, and I guess I could have annotated this for you, right? There's Jupiter, and you can see how that's looking over here. Mercury is usually about information, news, but he can also be stock markets, currency, cryptocurrencies with Uranus there. It could be some explosive action in the stock markets, difficult explosive action in the crypto markets as well, anywhere around the 19th, 20th to at the end of the month of May. But Mars is going to also do what is called, on the 26th of May, square the nodes, just as Jupiter is about to conjunct the North Node. That's going to look also pretty intense. For the most part, I don't mind when Jupiter, hypothetically, I don't mind when Jupiter comes into contact with the node of fate. Like, I'm kind of copacetic about it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a good thing. But on the other hand, in India, it's a demon meets like the guru. I mean, the North Node is Rahu, a demon. And so it can be about an overreaching, grasping excessiveness of Jupiter wanting to blow up the demon larger. Or then in the ancient Hellenistic tradition, there's a thought that Rahu, the North Node, makes Jupiter's beneficence larger. but now that beneficence is locked and loaded into a square to Pluto retrograde and a square to Mars, and then Mars on the 26th. So don't forget the Jupiter North Node happens to be more precise around the 31st of the month of May. But before that, on May 26th, Mars forms a square to the North Node, South Node axis, activating this grand cross in the fixed signs. Fixed signs don't like change. They don't like change. There's going to be some change. Fixed signs to resist change. Change explosive. Change big. Energy wise is happening around the 26th to the, let's say, 20. Let's go from the 23rd to the 28th of May. Mars is tangling and tangoing with the nodes of fate. So much going on here. You can say that Mars is in the house of the sun. Right? That's important. That's where it's going through the house of the sun. The sun is in Gemini. Gemini is a sign of the twins, but it's also the sign of people like humanity, like two brothers. So we see the war in Ukraine being very indicative of Mars's 7-month transit through the sign of the twins back at the end of August last year through to the third week of March, and that ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Because the sun is in the sign of twins, which is also the house of open enemies like China, Taiwan, China, and maybe Iran, and also the Russia in the United States minds, right? That's the house of the open enemies, visible enemies, or opponents in the USA Sibley chart. And the sun is there, and this explosive energy is going on. There could be some explosive action going on with China. I think that is possible given the recent eclipse was visible from Taiwan. So that Taiwan-China situation might be blowing a little bit out of control around the third week of May into the end of the month of May. That's one possibility. So we would like to not have that happen, but sometimes these things do. Life is life, war is war. Things happen. Does that sound like a totally bad platitude? Now, Venus herself is the lord of what Jupiter's up to. I mean, that's her house, right? She can witness it from the fourth house, and that's good. She's trying her best to sort of lend a hand for things not to go over the top. But I will say she does eventually join, thank goodness, Mars in the sign of Leo, and that will tone down any wildfires or political chaotic stuff that's going on most likely. Because when she gets there and she softens him up, that's going to be around June the 5th. And she's going to spend until he leaves on July 10th, she'll be with him. So she's going to bona fide soften him up, cool him down, whatever. It reminds me of that song in Jesus Christ Superstar, where Mary Magdalene is trying to cool down her beloved Jesus. I'm going to sing it for you, but I can't sing. It's cool and the ointment sweet for the fire in your hands and feet. So basically, it's like she goes in there and soothes the hot warrior, goes in there and soothes the drought maker, goes in there and soothes the fire maker, goes in there and soothes the bomb exploder. The worst case scenario is going to be a terrorist event of some sort or a bomb event of some sort, unfortunately. That would be the worst case scenario. The best case scenario, probably droughts and fires, natural events, and probably all of them are true because over the whole world, a lot of this stuff can happen. And it's funny how terrorism has been on the back burner for years. We don't think about the world so much in that after the pandemic, maybe in terms of the word terrorism. But anyway, assassinations as well can be Mars and Leo. Leo is the sign of the king. He's squaring the Jupiter, the leader of the king. Again, I don't want to think negatively about anything or anyone, but that could be possible. Joe Biden has his natal moon in his 6th house of sickness, really close to the North Node Jupiter placement. That I'm worried about Joe Biden's health anyway. On all my videos, I tell you, I don't think he'll be running for president. Now I'm worried about him, extra special worried. Joe Biden is in harm's way, if you ask me, with his moon being in the crosshairs of this energy. FYI, Joe is a Sag rising, and this means that this whole gnarly thing that's up in the sky, let's put his rising sign over here with USA rising sign, right? It's kind of all off center to him, but that moon, which can represent our physical body, especially in the house of health, is in the crosshairs right over here with Jupiter and the North Node. All right. In the all signs portion, all I'm going to focus on in making it fun and easy for all of us, because, I'll be doing individual videos coming up closer to each of these aspects, is to go forward a bit and talk about June the 21st. And that's going to be quite amazing. Let's see if I can change this up, okay? Because I have to stop this. I have to annotate for one thing. When you're annotating, it doesn't seem to want to let me fix it. So I'm sort of stuck in it. Okay, so give me back the chart and resume the share and see if we get it back. Yay. Okay. So when we move forward in time, I'll show you this little happy ending energy, right? Where I feel like we're all going to have a slice of yay, Mars, thank you. That will be around June the 21st. And that could be so nice for all of us. And what we're going to see happening here, let me make sure I can get the days up. Is we're going to see what's called a mini grand trine. It's very especially flowy. It's made with sextiles and all of that. Sextiles are the nature of Venus, and Venus is a benefic planet. In the ancient world, a trine is the nature of Jupiter, and Jupiter is a benefic planet. So on the solstice, basically, really interesting time frame, we will have a new moon, right? Always a new moon in this part of the sky as well. But the solstice is when the sun is entering into Cancer at 0 degrees. We're starting off a solstice energy, the hottest, longest day of the summer here in the northern hemisphere, and the winter in the southern hemisphere. And you can see this little blue triangle, and that little blue triangle is extremely positive. And what it is that Mars is sitting with Venus. Cosmic lovers are holding hands. She's highly bonifying him. He's really feeling good. He's cooled down and all of that. And we have him trining Chiron, the wounded healer, at 19 degrees of Aries. And we also have a Mars sextile to a dignified, highly strong Mercury in Gemini. This is going to be a time around, let's say, the 20th to the 23rd, where you're going to feel something extremely positive happening in your life, but also easy. I mean, not just positive, but easy. We get losing some of that Mercury by the 24th. We want Mercury engaged here. And Mercury's kind of the fastest moving planet. So he's kind of making it happen, right? He's the dude who creates the triangle. So if you watch the screen here, sorry, I can make that bigger for you. And you can see the triangle start to form on the 21st with Mercury at 18 degrees. Technically, that triangle is actually in formation as early as the 20th. So the 20th, the 21st, and it begins to wane on the 22nd. And by the 23rd, you can't see it anymore. So keep that in mind. I'm going to do a real quickie, all signs about how this may benefit you. But remember, to like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, because I put up like 20 to 30 videos a month, and each of these videos will go into detail about things like the Pluto, the great fixed grand cross in the sky, about the trine to the nodes, about more and more things that we can't do here, especially Jupiter conjunct Rahu. That is its own video. And so if you want to subscribe and like, you'll get more of that. And then we can all investigate what's true in astrology together. Yeah, by the way, you can see that after June 11th, Pluto's back in Capricorn, dealing with the corporatocracy, the banking system, financial system, leadership, power structures of control, etc. So we get more of that all the way through to next January. Okay. So this mini grand trine, all signs, is where we're going. I think because Mercury's moving, well, maybe I can show you the sky today. Will I bother? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Yes, no, maybe. Sure. Why not? Why not? I'm going to simplify the chart, and we're going to do all signs by giving you the visual wheel of what that sky looks like. So stay tuned while I just simplify it. I might call this video something like happy endings after explosive times. Like, I don't know how to label this video, you know what I mean? Because nobody really wants to see a video labeled on YouTube like devastation ahead, drought, wildfires, assassinations, toppling kings, war, whatever. It's like nobody wants that. You guys want the happy news. So we're going to give you the happy news today. Now, I am recording this on May the 9th. My Patreon community gets early access, ad-free content, as well as 2 meetings a month with me just for $5. You want to join my Patreon community? Check the description box below. Discounts for readings and classes with me and more. Or you can join my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter, which also has a huge bunch of perks that you can also benefit from, as well as discounts with me, etc. So all of that for you is when you join other communities off my YouTube platform. So give it a shot. You can always unsubscribe or quit. All right, so let's get moving and go through each sign and talk about the happy ending energy around the solstice, June 21st. So don't forget, Mars is still in Leo until July 10th. I made this so simple. I've just got it down to the basics. Yeah, that's asteroid Apollo. He's there for another reason, that he's going to connect with Mars later on, but I can't talk about it today in this video, but I didn't delete him. Just let him float around in Cancer. All right, let's get going. If you are an Aries, am I actually recording? I am. I always do this. I'm like, am I recording? I can't remember. Share the screen. Don't forget, you're watching in that live premiere. If you are, please hit the like button. And that would be super duper helpful for my channel, and it will help it grow. and all of that good stuff. Okay. I have classes I teach every month. It's called the Athenium classes. You go to my website under Learn Astrology. You can sign up for any of those monthly classes at, 60 to 90 minute, 75 to 90 minute webinars with replays available. All right, let's get going. If you're an Aries, sun, moon, or rising sign, basically Mars is traveling through this entire time of May 20th to July 10th in your sexuality, romance, children house. This can bring a lot of energy here for you to do with your kids. Your kids could be moving out, denesting. Watch for conflict with kids. Watch for conflict with your romantic partner. But actually, because Mars rules sexuality, things might be really heating up and you may be having an amazing romantic sexual hotness going on. And don't forget, with Venus joining him on June 5th, and things get even better in the sexual arena, as well as the opportunity for romantic travel and many other things. But today I really just want to focus on this. On the solstice around the 21st of June, you're going to see this amazing little triangle form in the sky, and it offers up some physical, personal healing, a rejuvenation for new vitality, an opening towards greater inspiration and muse-driven stuff. But if you're also on the online world and social media platforms or have your own business, this will love you up big time with some sweet success around the solstice. If you wish to travel, Mercury protects you, and he's in the house of short distance travel. Things like road trips or traveling within your own country are highlighted and are fantastic. Chiron is a part of you that's being healed. You are healing something in you around the 21st. It could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be how you see yourself, but it's happening in such a great way that you're feeling excited, passionate, vitalized, and you may be experiencing some kind of really positive developments as well with siblings, especially if you wish to travel or they travel to see you. All said and done, you can also learn something. Mercury loves knowledge and learning, and he's in a learning house. So any opportunity to learn or to teach, because Chiron is the mentor, guide, healer, teacher, maverick shaman, and he's in the house of you. Are you teaching, and are you really Mars in the 5th enjoying it? I probably will launch my one of my courses either in June or into July, like the Divine Timing Masterclass. So maybe it's me having a blast teaching, but because I'm an Aries sun and moon. Okay, so keep all of that in mind, Aries, and let's keep on rolling. This is not a long video. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign in your sky. This is a mini grand trine of goodness. Yay, you. It's going to be Mars moving through your 4th house. Yes, May 20th to July the 10th. As Mars moves through that part of your sky, you're likely to move, buy or sell a home, change your residence. Watch out for conflict with people that you're living with. That can be really intense. You will get a little lessening of the move intensity or the construction renovation, Mars down there intensity, or fighting with those that you're living with after Venus joins the fray and cools him down on June the 5th. Certainly be careful for injuries, cuts, or burning yourself in the house of your home. That's very common when Mars is spending a long time in the 4th house. So just be very cautious. Now, also, this grand trine, though, on the 21st of the month is really nice for you. You're going to feel like there's something really good trying to happen with that Mercury in your 2nd house of money. This can be really auspicious for new money, financial opportunities to buy or sell something, marketing, merchandising, selling and buying a possession. With Mars in the 4th house, it could be selling a home or buying a home, for example. And you may also buy a vehicle, an automobile or something like that during this transit. Mercury is also flowing into a connection over there with Chiron in the 12th house. Now that can be backroom deals and negotiations, it can be healing, something to do with your own self-undoing and self-sabotaging ways. For a lot of you, though, it may even look like just getting a new job, honestly, because that Mercury in the 2nd house and Mars in the 4th. 4th means close to home and taking action to get some new employment or new financial opportunity. 12th house also can suggest some kind of guide, shaman, mentor from a foreign land, helping you also get some kind of new revenue going. And if you're at all someone like me who earns money from foreign shores and lands, this could also be an uptick in that kind of money, especially if you guide, teach, mentor, or do shamanic work or healing with other people. Yeah, some of you may even feel like it's time to change your homeland with this transit, because Chiron is in the house of foreign shores, and maybe some of you Taurus folk, especially rising sign will be most accurate, may up and move. If you're a Taurus rising, and by the way, I should have done this for the Aries, but if you're a Taurus rising and this is happening, that your rising sign is near 18 degrees of Taurus, this may be even for you some decision to move to another country. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. This Mars is traveling from May the 20th to July the 10th in your third house. This is a travel house anyway. This is also very much like where you have automobile work done, body shop stuff, Mars here. But, it could also be that it's a house of siblings. So you may have to watch for arguing with siblings on May the 20th to July the 10th, but you could also be traveling to see a sibling, or they're coming to visit you. You may be also doing some kind of passionate learning and of a new skill that you wish to learn. You may be very passionately moving forward with regards to some change of something in your local neighborhood, regarding neighbors and siblings as well. Now, Mercury's in the house of you. You got the communications microphone in your hand. You're the one who's making up ideas or making messages that make things happen. You are the Mercury factor here, not somebody else. And Mercury's in great dignity. So you're very communicative, persuasive. You're good at making a deal. And Chiron's in the house of people who benefit you. And this mini grand trine suggests allies and benefactors stepping out of the woodwork to support you in third house matters. Third house is websites, social media platforms for Gemini rising. If that's a part of your world, things are getting better. Watch though, that siblings house is 11 is the elder sibling, and the third can be a younger sibling. But watch that you don't end up in gnarly conflicts with siblings with Mars there, but it all works out because somehow you've got the golden tongue with this, deal-making, peacemaking vibe. It's almost like Mercury could really bring things together if there's been any kind of difficulty with a family member, sibling especially. Not parental, okay? Aunts, uncles, nieces, and cousins as well. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. If you're a Cancer rising, especially, obviously that's most accurate. From May the 20th to July the 10th, Mars is moving through your second house. Now, this is good for money, but be careful for spending. Quite often, this is a spend-a-thon where you can't stop spending your money. I should have made that bigger. I apologize. And so be careful that you're not spending a lot that you can't afford to spend, or, investing in yourself too much. Just be cautious. But Mars can also have you take bold, pioneering, dominating action around the way you earn money. And especially if you're a healer or a guide or a teacher or a mentor, you could be really picking up the pace. And if you make revenue from PayPal, Stripe, or foreign countries, and you are in the public eye as a healer, guide, mentor, teacher, Mars is giving you a lot of momentum on the 21st of the month of June, a few days on either side. You're going into a high momentum earnings mode. You may also want to take a look at the idea of communications with people from foreign shores and lands, or communications with people who are other teachers and healers, because sometimes Mercury in the 12th house is like, I want to learn something, and Chiron is your teacher, your mentor, your guide. You may be spending money to learn with somebody, something to do with a healing field of endeavor. All right. This is for the Leo people, Leo, sun, moon, and rising. If you are a Leo, then this is going to be Mars moving through your sign. Yay! He'll be there from May 20th to July 10th, and Venus will join him on June 5th, making everything so amazing. You can be passionate, directed, and focused after that with a super juicy queen entitled bonification. I'll be doing a whole video about Venus moving for like 4 months through your sign. It comes up in June. But it's kind of like, was Mars getting in there before her? You may be very bold. You might be carrying a sword. You may be very aggressive. You may not suffer fools gladly. You may be going to task with a significant business or love partner and being more combative than you normally are. That again is starting for you, Leos, on May the 20th, but softens up around June the 5th when Venus helps out. This mini grand trine, though, on June the 21st solstice, give or take a few days on either side, looks really good for financial gain from your career. Mercury can support you having greater financial gain than you normally do in your career endeavors, or in that regard, or some interestingly positive support or news from a ally, friend, or benefactor. Chiron in the 9th house can suggest legal action working out on your behalf and bringing you some kind of sense of a windfall as well. Chiron in your 9th house is also about wisdom. It's a spiritual house. It's about spiritual guides and mentors, or a learning house. So some of you Leos may be learning from a particular teacher, and it's something you're learning that will help you gain more money from your career, increase your financial gain through your career, because the 11th house is the gains from the 10th house. Alrighty. Be careful you don't injure yourself, of course. That's classic Mars in the first house falling down, bumping your knee, breaking a bone, be careful, burning yourself, all of that. You need to be more careful than you normally are. This happens every 2 years. It's not the end of the world. Of course, I'm not talking about that gnarly Mars opposite Pluto in the 7th house that starts this thing off on May 20th. I'll be doing a separate whole video for that. But that's when you really have to be careful not to injure yourself, okay? But it also may be about your spouse or partner, not you anyway. Okay. It could be a big fight with the one you're with, for example. Around May the 20th. Okay, but we'll get into a separate video for that. Are you watching in the live premiere and you have yet to hit the like button? Please consider hitting the like button. Helps the channel grow a lot, that when I'm done the premiere, then it spits it into the YouTube land with an algorithmic flourish. Oh yeah, an algorithmic flourish. All right, let's move forward. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Well, Virgo, for you, this is wonderful because, Mercury is the lord of your sign and he's the one who pins this T-square to the sky. So we'll be talking about, not T-square, this mini grand trine. So May the 20th to July 10th, you've got Mars in your 12th house. It's really good for getting rid of addictions. If you smoke too much, you vape, you snort cocaine, you drink too much wine, or you basically have a bunch of bad habits you don't need, you're going to be able to get rid of them. It happens every 2 years. You're more forceful and committed, more focused and able to remove those self-undoings. And this is one of those times, May 20th to July the 10th. It's also a good time to travel to foreign lands, and you just may do that. You may be on the go. Now, I really think that when Venus joins him on June the 5th, for a lot of you, that can be really amazing for romantic travel from June the 5th all the way through until he leaves on July the 10th, especially if it's romantic travel to foreign places. We see this Mercury forming this trine around the 21st of the month of June, give or take a couple of days on either side. You'll feel it. And this is something like an elevation of your job or your workspace stuff, a promotion, a raise, a new job, a contract for a new job, or the same job and you're getting more money or something like that. Maybe some backroom secret deals and negotiations for you to acquire this job. Maybe you're leaving a job you don't want to tell anybody until you get the new one. You may be also operating with a little bit of extra flow from other people's money. It could be spousal support, inheritance money, residual income, investment money, tax rebates. Chiron over there. It's interesting to put him there. He's like healing your secret life. He's healing your forbidden zone. But he's also saying, hey, money's over here. So you're definitely looking at some kind of money up level in this story. You get a severance package if you want to leave a job, or a bonus sign on if you want to start one. And, Chiron is in Mars's house. We'll be doing other videos about this. So Chiron's trying to please Mars, right? He's like, what can I do for you? You might have to heal something to do with money stories as well. But it seems to all work out because Mercury, marketing, merchandising, and stuff like that is flowing to Chiron and flowing to Mars. I could say you could be having a rejuvenation of your sex life and talking about it in public, because Chiron is in a sexual house and Mars is in a bed pleasures house, which can be bed pleasures, literally, as someone said on my channel, and also what you do in your privacy of your home. Alrighty, or your quiet back room, no one sees you doing anything. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. If you are that, I'm going to just, I'm going to go heat my oven. I'll be right back. I realize I'm going late. I'll be right back. There we go. I just had to preheat the oven for the roast potatoes that I'm having tonight. So if you're a Libra, what I see here, anyway, this is my opinion, and don't forget to hit the like button if you're still in the premiere with me. First of all, good news is Venus will join Mars, by the way, on June the 5th, but we'll get to that because she's the lord of your sky. From May 20th to July the 10th, you're going to experience Mars in your 11th house. You're going to leave some friends behind. You're going to eliminate friends. They're going to eliminate you, or you're going to pare down your friends to the true blues and you're going to stick with them. Also, you may have some bold declarative momentum or directional shift in how you make gains from your career and how you earn money, especially great gains from your career. You also may be finding that you have conflict with an elder sibling. If you have an elder sibling, be careful for battling with them. But There's some good news in the sky as well. Because you will see Venus enter into the 11th house, any difficulties with siblings, especially elder siblings, will smooth out for you after June the 5th. Also, with friends that you've had disagreements with, that can smooth out after June the 5th through to July the 10th. You also may make a lot more money because you're passionate, you're focused, and you're excited, and you're on fire to do some kind of great gains enhancing things from your career path, and Venus comes in and makes it lucky. So you're going to have lucky financial gain and a lot of momentum and excitement perhaps between June the 5th and July the 10th. I like the mini grand trine with Mercury in your 9th house. It could suggest trips to foreign lands or learning or signing up for courses, especially with Chiron in your 7th. That's like a teacher, guide, mentor, energy healer in your 7th. And 9th house is educate, one of the educational axes. It's also about books and book publishing. If you're somebody who's writing a book, Mercury is an agent here. So you may get an agent for your book or some kind of book deal as a result of this, if this is something that makes sense to you as a Libra rising. Now, you also have the possibility of travel. Mercury protects travelers, and he's in the 9th house of foreign travel, and he owns your house of foreign lands, your 12th as well. This, for some of you Libras, is an opportunity for foreign shore travel, as this energy around the solstice, the 21st, is really picking up. So we're talking about the 21st of June at a 2 or 3 day window for travel stuff going on here. And if you're going to have a fight with a friend or a sibling, it can really smooth out, and you can clear it out as well during the 21st of the month. And by the way, healing the rift in a relationship, right? 7th house Chiron. And if you have any court cases or visa things you're trying to work out, this is when things go out very well, starting on the 21st of the month, give or take a few days of June. Moving forward into Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. Well, Mars is the lord of you, as it is for Aries. He's your guy, and he's in your top of your sky in your 10th house from May the 20th to July the 10th. And you are ambitiously pursuing career agendas as well as your visible reputation, possibly here. This is a house of the father, conflict with a father figure. You may also find, though, that you are quitting, leaving, or walking away from a job or a career path, or someone in the environment of your work is getting fired or leaving as well. And there is a tendency maybe from May 20th to July 10th to have conflict in the workplace or career space, but he's also a competition god. You may compete for a position that you really want that will bring you Mercury more money. But first of all, any fighting in the workplace or any leave taking or difficulties gets smoothed out by Venus on June the 5th. So the gnarliest time is May 20th to June the 5th. Things calm down after that when she enters into the 10th house with Mars. If you're proactively looking for a new job, well, Venus coming in June 5th can deliver it through to July 10th. Now, Mercury wants to say more money or negotiation for more money to do with severances, packages, sign-on bonus, commission structures, things like that. Mercury here is also possibly about secrets that can be revealed, but they're positive in some way. So you could hear a secret and it could benefit you in some tangible way in your career path. That could happen around the 21st. Chiron in your 6th house can help you heal your debt and eliminate debt. Mercury's in a house. It can also be about like your credit card debt, your mortgages. And there may be this dynamic, swiftly turning around your debt stories as well. Chiron's in the house of pets. Chiron's in the house of rentals and pets, and positive directional shifts can be happening around the 21st, with Mercury supporting all of this action in a very fortunate little triangle called a mini grand trine. All right, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. What's going on here is that you've got this energy of Mars on May the 20th to July the 10th, moving into your 10th house. This is a house of God. Sometimes father figures can be here in the Indian tradition. I would say that you could have a conflict with father figures, patriarchal figures, or anybody in a religious or spiritual institutional setting. You may quit the church, quit your faith, or leave it behind during this long transit. Also, any tension you have with court matters, going to court, battling something in a court case on June the 5th to July 10th will smooth out because Venus gets in there and helps out, cools the situation down. And same with academic environments or foreign shores and travel. Things may be very intense, very heated, very difficult even around May 20th. in the beginning of this transit, to the end of the month of May, you may be having a lot of conflict regarding things to do with foreign shores and foreign lands, but then Venus smooths it all out on June the 5th. You may also have difficulty in what you would call a third marriage. If you are in your third long-term, like committed cohabitation with someone, or marriage, literally, this could be conflict with that person until May 20th, until June 5th, and it all gets cooled down after that with Venus. This little mini grand trine, though, is definitely pointing at the marriage house. So business deals, contracts, legal negotiations, legal matters, visas, vows, oaths, marriage partner, business partner. Mercury's in the zone with that Mars, where these are all in high resolution and positivity around the solstice, the 21st of June. And you're getting support from Chiron in the 5th house of sexuality, sexual healing, or your children, or even things to do with your independent business enterprise. If you're a Sagittarius with your own business, this looks very good, and you may get some momentum in foreign shores or legal agreements that allow your business to take off in a new way, especially if you have a business that involves around healing others, teaching, guiding, or mentoring other people, like a coach or a psychologist. Also, you may definitely heal a relationship with a child and have some real new discussions that improve the relationship during this time of the solstice. Capricorn, sun, moon, and especially rising. Mars exalts you. You have a special relationship with him. He's the planet that exalts your identity, basically. So here he is for a long while, Capricorn, in June 5th to May 20th, in your stock investments, banking, mortgages, 401k, taxes, tax rebates, chunks of money, inheritances, all of that. So this is that money that belongs to other people that you don't earn necessarily. It's where your money can make money for you. Now, you may be paring away things. You got to be careful here, because Mars here can bring financial losses. So be very diligent, especially around stock investing. However, he can also represent momentum. Certainly, it's more difficult in the beginning. Be very cautious around things to do with inheritances and stock portfolios, investments, or even land and real estate. In the beginning of this transit around May the 20th to the end of May, things are really intense. Play it safe here for a lot of Capricorns, especially around securing money for mortgages or things like that. That could be really hard. And some very difficult things could come up in your finances around the time of May 20th to the end of the month. Pluto square from the second house, right? Now, as well, Venus will on June the 5th enter into your 8th house, and this starts to glow up your chunky money house. So this is going to be good. And all the damage that Mars was doing as he burned something down can be mitigated. Mars here can also just be about taking action, right? Then you're going to have, with Venus's support, of course, you're going to end up with this mini grand trine happening here. And this mini grand trine, I should put her in the picture of Venus. This mini grand trine energy is really positive solstice energy, 21st of June, developments around property, home, land, and real estate. Finding a healing home, a sanctuary, a home where you feel like you belong, a home where you can teach, a home where you can nest and guide others or something, or you're guided to a new home, or you find a home with a shaman nearby. A crow just landed on my balcony for you guys. Woohoo! A big giant crow with a piece of food in his mouth. Yay. And Mercury says, okay, rental for sure. You can rent an amazing new place around the solstice because he's sextiling Chiron. You can also purchase a new place because he's a god of money that markets and deal makes and stuff. You can also look at this as potentially opening up a window for dating for some of you, but mostly it looks like property and money and real estate and inheritance and investment stuff going on. And if you have a debt to pay off, this can really help you pay down or pay off any debts during the 21st of the month. And if you need to get a pet, want to get a pet, you're bargaining, negotiating to get the best possible pet that's going to bring some support, healing, and energy to you in a positive way around the 21st of the month. And then Aquarius, I'm one of you. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign in your sky. What you've got going on here is Mars moving through the house of significant others. Watch for fighting with business partners, clients, audience, or main squeeze partner like your significant other. Well, this is ongoing, right? It starts on May 20th and it kind of goes to July 10th. And the only time you need to worry about these fights with others or them fighting with you, really, because they've got the sword in their hand, is going to be between May 20th and June 5th. Then Venus softens it all up and now it's completely new and none of that fighting should be really happening. You could also have friends. It could be elimination of significant people in your life as Mars is sort of pruning that house for you. This is legal contracts, and you may be battling and negotiating for a legal agreement to work in your behalf. But again, after June 5th, things smooth out. I love the energy too of this little triangle that we're seeing here, because it will bring you some positive developments in your 5th house, more so with children or romantic sexual love partners. This could be new kinds of communication opportunities opening up. If you have your own business, this is amazing for reaching new clients with great gusto and momentum, and maybe a bit of celebrity as Venus moves through there too in the 7th after June 5th, and you're killing it in your entrepreneurial independent business as a messenger, marketer, merchandiser, seller, or your children are communicating with you and things are working out really well and you're forming great deals with them. Possibly this could be about as well a trip that you might want to take, especially if it's a leisure trip. Because you've got a lot flow in the leisure travel 5th house between Mercury and Chiron in another travel house. And you may travel for education or shamanic learnings or healings, or you may take a new course Mercury loves to study that amplifies a natural skill or talent that you have. And that's around June 21st. You may be enrolling or actually signing up or already in that course and experience a glow up. Whatever you learn will help you with your market, merchandising, audience, and clients in your life. So if you're Aquarian learning, that's wonderful. Of course, you could be teaching as well, like I do. And that could be me, for example, as an Aquarius rising, teaching something that's a real big glow up in my independent business enterprise and financial luck. Yes, and as well, if there's local lottery tickets and draws that you want to play, maybe Mercury, games of chance God, in a lucky house where wins of money happen, could be an idea to go ahead and do that on the 21st. Buy a lottery ticket, don't overdo it. Never listen to astrologers for legal or financial or health advice, especially if it's not a personal reading, okay? And then Pisces, first and always first for you. If you're in the premiere, you haven't hit my like button, or down to the final line, hit my like button. Help my channel grow. I'm at 27,500 subscribers as I record this now. And I would love to get to 30,000 and in a couple months. And then I'd like to get to the miracle of 100,000 at the end of the year. That is a real ambitious ask. So hit my like button, see if we can grow this channel together. So Pisces, sun, moon, and rising people. You have this Mars transit May 20th to July 10th in your 6th house of rentals, pets, and tenancies, debts, karmic debt, work, and health. Now, technically, when Mars goes through there, he's in the house of his joy, and you can get some amazing work. You could be really getting some momentum around the word work starting May 20th to July the 10th. Job, work, career opportunity, things like that. Second of all, you might also be having to look at your health through the lens of Mars. Get rid of inflammatory foods, make new momentum about what you want to eat, maybe have some optional surgeries if you need it, all of that. You may start exercising more for better health, basically, as well. This is, again, a long transit, June through to May 20th. You may also, though, have difficulties with pets, or unfortunately, a pet could have an injury or something like that during this transit. Venus will join in on the June 5th, and that will bonify him. So you're going to get a real lucky break, a raise, a promotion, a new job, a job offer, some positive developments in your collegiate co-worker space. Sometimes Mars moving through there means that somebody in your workspace quits or leaves the job or gets fired, and that can benefit you. I love that mini grand trine, because around this 21st of the month, you're going to have some real positive developments with home. It could look like renting a new home. Why? Because Mercury, negotiation contracts in your 4th house, Mars in the house of tenancies. Looks like it may be an opportunity around the middle of July, the 21st or so, to rent a new property, rent a home. But you could also perhaps have some momentum in buying a home, but it looks more like a rental opportunity. Possibly, though, you could buy because Venus owns your mortgage's house and she's with Mars. You can also say that Chiron's healing your wounds around your money, earnings, self-worth, and self-esteem, to do with your self-worth and value, as well as your finances. Chiron's been going through here since 2019, kind of making you feel a bit wounded, Pisces, about your ability to be a endowed with all you need, resourcefully, possessions of what you need, and well as earnings. And now there's a strong 21st of June healing energy here. And Mercury says, well, we could heal it because we got a new home. We can heal it because of what we're teaching, writing, or speaking from home. Chiron is going to be helping heal something. And ultimately, Mars is also with Chiron healing your health, but usually with things you put in your mouth, because that's where Chiron is. So you might get a clue it's time to quit something like gluten or whatever, and Mars is going to eliminate that for better health. For the most part, it's definitely something to do with home life as well. Well, I think a lot of you will be looking at the idea of buying, selling, or moving, or renting something new. Alrighty, I hope that was useful. I hope that helped you maybe navigate the future with a little more ease, a little more clarity, and sort of what astrology is for. I will be teaching my Divine Timing Masterclass. It's on a wait list now. I've got about 100 people on the wait list. Sometime in the next few months. It's not for beginners. If you're brand new to astrology, don't bother. But if you want to learn some esoteric, ancient divine timing tools, this is a class for you. It's 4 weeks long, and I love that one as well because it's so much fun. But again, you should be advanced beginner or intermediate to get on that wait list with that, to take that class with me. Maybe push to September. It depends on if I am moving in the summer and where the hell I'm going to be. So it might be I'm going to be teaching in the fall when I know where I'm going to stick the landing on my next home. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for being in the live premiere with me. Everyone who's still here, I appreciate you. Hope you're all so well, and have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are.